Joining us now is Dr. Greg Jantz, best-selling author and go-to media expert on mental health and addiction. He's a regular contributor to Huffington Post, Psychology Today, and more. Greg, welcome back.
Oh, good to be with you. And what an important topic today.
Hey, yeah, Greg, stress, anxiety, depression, you certainly understand those issues. Your clinic, by the way, the Center for Hope, ranked as one of the top 10 treatment facilities a few years ago on treating depression. You and I have worked together with a lot of
Yes.
people trying to bring hope to them. Greg, what are you seeing right now? I mean, what's got your attention as we are sort of making our way through this crisis we're in?
Yeah. What's got my attention right now is this chronic stress. We've had a period of quarantine, confinement, and right now we have kind of a pandemic purgatory. In other words, uh, people are stuck and they don't know what's the future. I can't go back to the past. And this is creating significant chronic stress. We're seeing physical issues with people. We're seeing anxieties that are really anxieties at all time highs. I think that's a fair statement. So my concern is the unrelenting chronic stress that people are under.
Greg, the anxiety factor and depression seem to go hand in hand too. You know that? There's a lot of
Yes.
comorbidity, they say. Greg, you have a new book out on depression. A lot of people confuse depression, say, with discouragement or the blues. Everybody gets the blues, as the old song says. But what are some of the common indicators that, hey, this is a little deeper, this is more concerning, this is what depression really looks like?
You know, if you're wanting to isolate, you're desiring, you have apathy, and you're noticing my daily functioning is not going so well. My sleep is disruptive. I'm waking up maybe with a pounding heart, night sweats. I may find that, wow, 3 months has gone on and I'm not getting better. I seem like I'm getting worse. And so we all have, and I think it's fair to say, maybe there's been a situational depression, just the situation that we're in right now as a country, and depending on what state you live in, just what's going on. So there's a normal time, but we're talking about something that on the continuum, it's getting worse and worse. And despite, you know, your desires to get better, you're not getting better.
Yeah. Greg, with depression, sometimes people talk about feeling like there's like a wet blanket, a heaviness on
Yeah.
them. They feel stuck. They just, it's like motor retardation and stuff. They just don't have
Yeah.
that energy level anymore. It's a struggle to get going, to keep going, to stay up, to stay
Yes.
energized.
It's that daily sense of just apathy. I don't have the energy to care. I don't see hope for my future. And maybe there's a lot of financial stress, and maybe there's concerns around kids and schooling this year and what's going to happen. And so we have a long list of concerns, and that's kind of making this depression even have a, if you will, a stronghold in your life. You can't seem to shake it off.
Yeah. Greg, the encouraging piece here, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, is there's help and there's hope. A
Yeah.
lot of people just, I don't know what, they hold on to this depression. They don't do anything about it, and they live years mired up. And Greg, if they would just take a step in a new direction, they could change their life. Just do something. And Greg, a lot of people are screaming for help right now. What do you say to them?
Well, I say we have an opportunity right now, and let's put this in the proper framework. It's where our point of focus is. We can reset. Now, this is an opportunity that we're all in. We can reset, or if we don't, we're going to regret because we're probably not going to do anything. Depression's going to get worse. Some people are turning to addiction. And so our coping mechanisms are not going that well. Use this as an opportunity to reset. Well, what's the first thing I have to do if I'm going to reset? Well, you may not feel like there's hope. That's okay. I need to ask for help. What are my options? Because this is an opportunity to put a lot of things in life in order, spiritually, put my relationships in order, put my physical self-care in order. This is the season. You can do this now. And I know we have to do two things. We've got to, preserve through this, and we will, but we also have to prevail.
Hmm.
Part of prevailing means Tim, that I've got to reset some things. So if I'm depressed, don't stay there.
Yeah. Greg, I know there's a lot of reasons for clinical depression. Some could be biological, neurological, for example. Could be that you're battling with a lot of oppression, grief, loss,
Yes.
challenge in life, even spiritually. Some real things can come against you and can keep you weighted down. People don't understand that too, so sometimes they want to white knuckle it and say, hey, I'm
Yeah.
going to get through it. You know what I mean? I just need to. And those things, typically, if you're really battling with depression, you're not going to plow your way through it. You've got to do the right steps to get yourself free.
You do. One of the things I talk about in the book, Healing Depression for Life, is though it's been many years ago, I share my story. I share and I know what it's like to have that depression and that cloud doesn't lift. I know what it's like to have that apathy. And so today I can speak passionately after, 20 some years or longer of going through this to tell you there is hope.
Yeah. Greg, closing piece here. There's a lot of shame and there's some stigma and certainly a lot of silence around this. We need to have these conversations because people in small town USA, my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. When people start realizing you can put a name to this, a face to what they're going through, and there's a prescriptive plan you can go through to find help and hope and new life. It's so life-giving, Greg. You know that? And to know that God is in the midst of it and can speak to this and bring into your life everything necessary to get there. Greg, sometimes people, though, get into a place where they do need hospitalization. They
Yes.
need that next level of care. Can you address that? Because people don't like to talk about it, but they need to. Some people are on the verge of hopelessness, even thoughts of suicide and more. What do you do if you or someone you love is there?
Well, I'm going to say don't wait. This is that we're going to reset versus regret. Don't wait. Find out. And this is the thing. Find out, well, what are my options? And sometimes it takes the help of a loved one, because one of the things that happens is people will say, and folks who come here, a lot of people, they'll say, I wish I wouldn't have waited so long. I didn't know. And so let's move away from I wish I wouldn't have waited so long to, okay, at least today I'm going to be open to exploring what are my options. If I'm not functioning well and I feel like I'm losing touch and I don't have the energy to care, and I feel like I'm having thoughts like, well, it'd be better off if I wasn't even around. And those are dangerous thoughts. Let's step back and let's say, okay, today I'm at least going to explore what are potential options. And people are surprised. Again, when people say, I wish I wouldn't have waited so long, that's my word. Make a decision today.
Greg, ultimately our hope is in God. Our strength is in
Absolutely.
Him. As the psalmist cried out, why is my soul cast down? Hope thou in God.
Yeah.
And Greg, you hold on to that. That's what gave you special life. You looked at everything, your biology, you looked at your nutrition, you looked at all those facets of your life that needed to be attended to. And then at the end of the day, you anchored it all because there is no hope really apart from our relationship with God.
We have to have, and so well said, Tim, we have to have that anchor. And that's our foundation. And so one of the revelations that people will come to is, wow, just the realization of how much God loves me and that I do, and the promise that I have in Jeremiah 29:11. I have a future. I have hope. Well, hope comes when we have a plan. So I need today to, Lord, give me the wisdom. I pray that I'll know, but help me put together a plan. And so usually that comes when I ask for help.
Yeah. Dr. Greg Jantz, thank you for joining us.
So good to be with you.